I don't know who needs to hear this, but stop pillow talking to that man about all your business, all your family, personal business. Stop laying all your traumas on him. That man is your man, and that is his place, not a therapist. Seriously, think about it. And when I'm talking about this, ultimately, you do want your spouse to know things about you. But I'm talking about in this reference, the beginning of a relationship, y'all. Can y'all break stuff down? Can we normalize breaking stuff down as time goes on? But as far as all your business, I feel like you still need to keep a little bit to yourself. And not in a sneaky way. I mean, like, okay, your best friend going through something. She called you up real quick. I saw this crazy clip on YouTube and it was meant to be a skit. But when I saw it, I'm like, wow, people really do this. All right, boyfriend had one of the earpods in one ear. The friend, had another earpod, and they was really listening to her best friend crying and venting. And I was just like, oh my gosh, people really do stuff like that. And you gotta be careful. Baby, if I'm deep diving in the conversation, I hear your man walk in the room. I'll talk to you later, sis. That's it. That's all. Some women actually get a kick out of their men hearing your conversation just because it makes them seem like the good girl compared to you. Like, oh, babe, look at my friend going through. Like, she was with two dudes yesterday. Like, it makes them look like the good girl compared to you. But then when you wonder why your man don't like her hanging out with you, and that's your best friend, you knew her longer than she even knew him. Now you know why. Cause she pillow talking to him about your problems, your business, and they say birds of a feather ultimately flock together, but he don't see that you and her, okay? Period. He don't see it in her. She's not gonna tell him all her business and all her backstory when it comes to certain things, but oh yeah, she will be willing to tell yours, right? You gotta watch them type of friends where it's like, her man, you just feel it. Like her man knows something about me. You feel like she pillow talking. You feel like her voice changes whenever he walks in the room and she low key clowning you, or you feel like you on speaker or something like that. But going back to the friend, right? If I'm the friend, if I'm the friend and I'm discussing all your business with my man, right? At the same token, whenever me and my man get into it, we get into an argument or whatever, if he ready to leave me, hey, in the beginning especially, you don't know what type of man you done got. If he want to go out with a bang once the relationship is over and he want to contact your best friend and tell her everything that you said about her, that's going to end you guys' relationship, or it will just never be the same. She will never trust you with her secrets again. And is that really worth pillow talking to him in a brief moment? Like, have you ever been with somebody? Let's just be real, because I be speaking from experience. Have you ever been with somebody where you pillow talk to them about something and then, you know, either y'all not together no more, y'all get into it, but for some reason, somehow they threw you under the bus and they told such and such what you said, or they went back and told another person what you told them in confidence? You gotta be careful with that. And a lot of these people will stir stuff up with your family too. This go for women and men, okay? You get into it with shorty, you get into it with bro, and he go back and he call your mama, she call your mama and tell her, you know, that's why you was on the streets when you was 22. Like, you know, he just go back and tell your family everything that you said, especially if your family wants to come to your rescue, right? So if you got a hot-headed, you know, brother, sister, uncle, whatever the case is, and they want to holler at shorty, holler at dude, and he turn around and flip the script and pull a them on them. He tell they business. Like, why you saying I'm not a good man when you was the one who got a third child out here and you ain't even tell your wife about? Perfect example. Why did I get married? Sheila and Mike, right? You remember Mike was Sheila's husband. And when Mike got caught up for cheating because Angela opened her mouth, Mike let it out on the entire table and he was telling everybody business. But where did he get the business from? He told the fellas business, but he got it from the wives. He got it from the wives pillow talking to them and them telling their homeboys. Word travels. That's ultimately where I'm getting around to. Word travels, and you have to be very careful with that, especially if it's something that could ruin potential relationships, friendships, or just your character in general. You got to be careful admitting stuff that's so deep and dark. First of all, if you got that big of a deep, dark secret, you need to give it to God, okay? Give it to the Lord. Don't go off telling your boyfriend, your girlfriend, because you're going to be looking crazy. And a lot of times, people can use that against you as blackmail. That's what we call it, right? They could use that against you to post it online, post it on Facebook. If you tell them a certain deep, dark past and y'all have mutual friends, ultimately it just becomes embarrassing. And a lot of people use that against you to force you to stay with them, or to force you to be afraid of coming out with your truth and saying anything about them. You know, I went through a relationship once where I was afraid that my ex-husband was going to tell all my business, but then I had to look deep down inside into the type of person that I am. I am really one of them type of people where I will snitch on myself and tell my own business and put it in a book, okay, before I sit up here and allow him to go ahead and talk and do what he does, you know. So I really didn't care at the end of the day, but I'm not going to lie. At one point, he did try to use that against me in a form of blackmail. Like, oh, well, people really knew who you were and this and that. And I really didn't care, because it's like, thank God I haven't been through anything where it's like super shocking or weird or creepy on my end or nothing like that. It's just my business as far as me being a professional woman in the industry, with the radio and everything like that. He just kind of wanted to tear down my character of, you know, everybody don't know you crazy and you be turning up and one time you this and that. It was relationship, like stuff within the relationship. But I really just didn't care, honestly, and it didn't work against me. I mean, if you want me to be real, he done told me way more about him, and I had way more about his past and his currents at that point than he had on me. But who got time to play the TikTok? And you definitely got to be careful what type of person you get with, because if you get with that wrong person, that loose lips Linda, they will happily tell all of your business. Y'all, if I'm looking more shiny than normal, I just did my little braids up here and the grease. Yeah, I did my face care and it was still dripping on me. I like to use all of that coconut oil in a bottle, just drench myself. So that's what's up. But getting back to this though, seriously, you got to be careful when it comes to that best friend, the man. I mean, it really doesn't matter. It could be your best friend as well. I know that you want to kiki ha. I know that you might not have plenty of people to talk to about this situation, but you honestly have to be very careful, because if you got the wrong type of friend and you leak the wrong type of information, hey, look, listen, I get you want to trust somebody, right? But it's certain things that you just got to keep to yourself. If you feel like this is too humiliating and you would never want this to get out, seriously, let go and let God, or either talk to a therapist. But confiding in your best friend about every little thing, as far as it being detrimental to your character, you really need to second guess that. You need to second think that before letting it all out. But I would definitely say, in a relationship, definitely more over a friendship, but in both situations, you got to be careful. And another thing I want to say is stop down to your family. I get you don't like them. I get you don't mess with them. But this is to all my people who do that on and off. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you got a sister, you and her bump heads. You know, maybe you got a little, you got a bro, you and him ain't really kicking it like you used to. But if you go in and out, back and forth, if you can still call your sister up on the phone on a random Sunday and be like, even after a month worth of Sundays, and say, hey, little girl, what you doing? Keep her out your mouth. Stop talking about her. Because if you talk about her, you tell the wrong thing to the wrong person, and it can hurt her feelings, break her heart. That's putting you and your sisters, your siblings' relationship in jeopardy. And there's plenty of people out there who has ruined the relationship with their family based off having loose lips and really honestly hurting their feelings. You got to be careful with that. And also you got to be careful because some of these spouses, they get to the point where you release so much news about your own family that they start to feel like they're better than not only you, but them as well. You gotta be careful. All right. So if your siblings, your whoever in your family don't like your spouse, nip that in the bud and say, hey, you got the right to feel how you feel. Just don't come to me or don't come to them about that. Keep that over there. But as far as you running back to your spouse, I mean, by all means, stop them if your people are talking about them, but then still trying to smile in their face. Nah, on both ends, like, y'all don't like him, he don't care too much about y'all, we just gonna nip it at that. Y'all still my peoples, but at the end of the day, if y'all can't accept who I'm with, this is where I'm at. I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you know this is where I'm at, right? You just gonna have to deal with that. I love you, but this is who you gonna have to deal with. Let that person know what's up so they won't just be smiling in Unc face, knowing Unc don't think he too much worth for them, but he really is just probably Unc hating because he a better man than him. That's a whole nother situation, okay? But at the same token, just don't go back and forth being the middleman, right? Don't be the instigating of it all. Don't sit up here and take Unc's advice against your man, then run to your man like, well, you know, or especially when you get into it. And that's why my uncle don't like you anyway. That's why he said you need to have a better job and you ain't making too much or nothing. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to that man. He's a good man, Savannah. A good man, look. But all that pillow talking, you gotta be careful. And fellas, I wanna say a special message for y'all. Please be careful pillow talking to your old lady when you're talking about another lady. If you're talking about a girl who got a crush on you, if you're talking about your ex-girlfriend, if you're talking about the girl that you especially cheated on her with, and you're talking about all the stuff, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised at these dudes. All the stuff Shorty done said about you and she said woo woo wop the bam. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. Because this is the thing. A lot of people don't play about their character on the same or similar level as they don't play about their spouse. So if Shorty already crazy about you, Shorty definitely ain't gonna play when it comes to her. And another woman verbally admitting to you that she feel like she's better than your old lady. Stop doing it. And the same thing with these dudes. Hey, these dudes might be a little bit worse. Some let it fly in one ear and out the other. Like, yeah, whatever. But some dudes really be on there. If you sit up here and you tell them, especially when it comes to your family, that such and such said that he's less of a man. So next time when he see your unc and he get at unc, don't be in the middle of it crying. Right? Because a lot of people don't play when it comes to their character, when it comes to people degrading them, degrading their character. You got to be careful about who you necessarily tell what to. Don't get that close. And this is another thing for the gossip. Because pillow talking is ultimately gossip. It's one thing to pillow talk to someone about yourself or your family or about what somebody said about them, but it's a whole new ball game if we pillow talking to somebody in a form of gossiping and we telling them about someone else's business. You telling them about your friend business or you telling them about somebody else's business. Oh, well, you know, Keisha put on Facebook, just using a random name. Keisha put on Facebook that, you know, her and her baby daddy split up, but I heard from somebody else that she had lost her kids and this and that. And stop doing it. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. You don't want to do that. You don't want to become that person. What makes it so bitter on your heart that you got to sit up here and gossip about other people's misfortunes, right? Because this is the thing. One thing about them tables, they always do turn. Stop gossiping in general. That could be pillow talking to your best friend, your boyfriend, this and that. And stop pillow talking to y'all ex thinking that that's going to make y'all rekindle because y'all know the same mutual people and you got new fresh news for them every time they decide to hit you up. Stop doing that. Okay? That's not going to make y'all bond talking about other people. Have you ever realized or have you ever been in a situation where you are mutual friends and then somebody, let's just say somebody in the group fall out with everybody? And you guys remain friends, but all you guys talk about is the person y'all don't like. Y'all don't mess with no more. Y'all have no type of friendship or relationship besides that one person. I was once in that situation. I worked with somebody. All of us were coworkers. We were cool. We all fell out with, I guess you could say, the boss. And we all end up quitting once all at the same time. And we remained friends for a few years afterwards. But it just seemed like, and I know for a fact, every time we talked, the old boss name would come up. Like that's all we necessarily, you know, talked about. That's all we gathered around for. We can go out. We didn't talk about nothing else, y'all. We can go out to a party, etc., this and that. His name would always be mentioned in conversation. It was to the point where I got tired of people reporting back what he up to, what he did on his Facebook page, you know, what chick, what's new, this and that. He's still messy, but ultimately they were being messy and I was tired of being of it. You're not really my friends if the only time we gather around and talk is when we're talking about a mutual enemy. That's not really friendship. We're only friends because all of us don't like this person. This is the only reason why we still remain cool with somebody. And that's not a healthy way to live your life. So if you got friends like that where you and her, you and him, whatever the case is, don't like the same person, and that seemed like all y'all tend to talk about, you need to get you some better friends, baby. And I ended up cutting that off. And I was just like, yeah, we only talk about him, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I want my own life. I want to move on from that. I'm going to close that chapter of my life. I don't want to think about that man. I don't want to discuss that man. That man is a part of my past. And to be honest, I want to pretend I never even knew that man. I don't want to talk about him. And if that's all you want to talk about, I'm sorry, but not sorry. We can't be cool. We can't be cool. We can't even be cordial, because at this point, we literally have nothing to talk about besides that man. It is dry. It's dry. And it's not even me. I was just giving like the little nod. And I did try to set some of them straight before. Some of us just stopped talking, but some of them I tried to set straight before and gave them a whole little speech. Tried to be cool, but when I tried it, it was literally nothing else to talk about. It was dry. Hey, how you been? Happy 4th of July. Just random stuff. It's not worth my time. But yeah, you got to be careful who you talk to and who you give bits and pieces of your life to, and who you decide to call your friend and foe. Like, you gotta really be careful. Some people really out to get you for real. And let's just top the icing on the cake, right? Some people, when you tell them your business, who's to not say, and I'm talking about the boyfriend even, that they don't go running telling other people your business. Let me tell you about some of these dudes, all right? Some of these dudes, you tell them about your past, your trauma, your this and your that. And you never know this, baby, when y'all get into it, he done tell his mama, he told his sister, and they got you down here. They feel like you real beneath ground zero, okay? They talking about you. They feel like he could do better. They encouraging him to do better. Sometimes these guys throw all your business out there just so their family could have open arms and say, son, you could do better. Level up. Didn't you tell me shorty such and such anyway? Do you really want that type of baggage in your life? Do you really want to deal with that with her? She got issues, right? When dude break up with shorty, he running his mammy and he talk about how crazy shorty is, right? And be careful, like, look at ways how men talk about their exes too. Like, if you got that man who's stuck on his ex and he talking about all she done did, it's one thing to say all she done did to him. But if he start talking about how she got mental issues and this and that, she went through this as a child and this and that, be careful with that, right? Because why are you exempt from him talking about you the same way if y'all relationship were to end, right? I wouldn't want to be with a man who's so bitter and hung up and heartbroken about his ex currently to this day anyway. Because that means he still love that girl. He ain't over that girl. If she broke his heart that bad, you might feel some type of way about all females. Why is she even a topic of... For real, I feel like at 30, I'm too old to ask a person when was their last ex-girlfriend and how did the relationship end and what happened. You can ask how long the person been single ultimately, but to go into details, why y'all not together? You've been single for 2 years. What happened with you and your ex? That's just kind of childish to me. Personally, that's just kind of childish to me. All I need to know is you anybody man? Is you seeing anybody? And is your STD test clean? And do you got any kids? And what baby mama? That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know, okay? We can ask what that relationship look like. Are y'all cool? Is she problematic? What's the word? But as far as a regular ex-girlfriend and this and that, I don't need to know all that. Shorty a part of your past for a reason. Let that go, all right? Speaking of relationships and pillow talking, stop telling a person all your trauma off bat. You tell this man what you went through. I promise you, if he's not a good one, he will use that against you. And some men try to pick at how weak you are and how far they can push you. If you tell them about how, and it ain't even gotta be nothing deep or traumatic like childhood, nothing crazy, but it could be something about relationship wise and how you feel like you always get cheated on and men don't appreciate you and this is what your ex did to you. Never tell them what your ex did in details, okay? Either y'all just wasn't compatible. Start pulling these dudes on dudes. The first thing a dude say is, we just wasn't compatible. Say the same thing, sis. We just wasn't compatible. But when you go into details, you let the dude know how he was abusive, physically, mentally, verbally, all that stuff, then it's going to show how much you accept it and how weak you are on that level. In the beginning, you never know what type of man you have. What's in dark will come to light, but you don't want to speed up the process by telling him what all you accepted. Don't say you was in a 5-year physically abusive relationship, a 10-year verbally abusive relationship. This man cheated on you 27 million times. Don't do that. Don't put yourself in that light, right? You gotta be careful with that. And a lot of times, just like how we vent to our homegirls, these dudes be venting to their homies. So if you tell him something, who's to not say? He won't go back to his homeboys and be like, hey, bro, yeah, she done went through some crazy stuff, bro. She done told me about such and such. We do it with our girls, let's just be honest. I don't have a big circle. I got one best friend, but a lot of people do it with they girls. Let's just be honest. You got to be careful who you tell stuff to. And especially, I got a lot of especiallys, y'all. Especially when it comes to your man and the things that he done, if he done cheated this way. Look, leave him alone, first and foremost. But if you really need to talk to somebody about it, God and or therapy, right? God first. And then the rest is ultimately up to you. But I feel like once you let God, you know, let go and let God. But if you want to go to therapy, that's cool. That's your shabam. But as far as telling different people, trying to get other people outlooks, people can't tell you how to live your life. Nobody could tell you how to live your life but you, ultimately, at the end of the day. You can't go around for other people's opinions, y'all. And if you do got one of them type of mans where where he did cheat on you and this, that, etc., your girl has published my first journal. It is called Many Reasons to Leave That Boy Alone. Sometimes we need a visual representation, a list that we could write out, so to speak, to say reasons why we should not mess with a person. Have you ever had that urge to give somebody a phone call, a text message, hit them up on Facebook, stalk their page? Whenever you get that urge, just pull out this book and write your reasons down. It is 120 blank pages with lines, and you're able to number them and write your reasons why you feel like you need to leave this person alone, okay? A lot of the times we hear about writing a list, putting it under our pillow, praying on it, and when we get the urge, just seeing it. But this just makes it all the easier being written in a book form. And even the good thing is, even if you want to go to your next relationship, let's say you and that dude alone. Let's say that you get in the next relationship 6 months later. Say that thing don't work out. You can compare relationships within this book. So it's a lot of pages. I see it 120 pages with all blank lines on each page. You can compare your next relationship to your past relationships. See what you can do differently in the future before you try to give up on love altogether. Don't do that. But see what you can do differently moving forward. Sometimes you can learn from your own mistakes. Ultimately, you can make this book whatever you want to be. It could be Reasons to Leave That Person Alone, which is it is titled, but within that book, you can also put your thoughts in this, right? Things that you want to do to elevate, to make yourself a better woman for the future, for yourself, for the next man, whatever. And I also made one for fellas too. Sorry, ladies. Many Reasons to Leave That Chick Alone. Fellas, you could do the same shabam when you write it down. A lot of times our family tell us and everybody sees it but us. But this book allows you to literally write it down. You can check your list twice and you could determine if a person is naughty or nice, whether you should give them a second chance or if it's really not worth your time. If it's filling up too many lines with they cons versus they pros, hey, you already got your answer. And every time you feel the urge to reach out to them, review the book and you can see that it's not really worth your time. It's not really worth being on your mind. They done wasted too much of your youth. They wasted too much of your good years. Okay, y'all? First of all, that's all I got for y'all today. Secondly, if you got any video suggestions, please leave them down in the comments below. If it's something more personal, you can always hit me up via email at theiconicradioshow@gmail.com. I will leave that in the description box below. Also, I will leave the links to both of my books, Many Reasons to Leave That Boy Alone, Many Reasons to Leave That Chick Alone. And if you cannot click the link because YouTube be acting funny, you can always type in the title into Amazon. It's on sale right now for $5.99. Get your book while it's on sale. It's really not, I tried to make it cost efficient for you guys. This is my first published journal, so I really hope that you enjoy it. Come back and leave a comment. Let me know that you ordered it. It will really help out a lot. Thank you if you guys could like, share, comment, and do not forget, most importantly, if you only do one thing, please subscribe. It really helps my channel out a lot. I love seeing my channel growth, and I love having you guys a part of the growth. You're going to see me from when Star had 100 views, 1,000 views to 50,000 views. By the end of 2024, I'm putting an affirmation out there now. I plan on having 20,000 subscribers. Right now, I have a little bit over 2,000, so I need 18 more thousand subscribers. That's why every subscriber counts. Every subscriber is important. I love and appreciate you guys. And once again, thank you so much for being a part of the Stardom Squad. Till next time, you guys. Bye.